Hello, welcome to Radiant Resilience. This is going to be a gentle floor yoga class. You'll need a few props. The first one is you'll want a blanket or a towel that you can roll or not roll up, but fold. So I have this one, those Mexican blankets. So it's folded in quarters, and then I have it folded in thirds lengthwise. So it creates um, like almost like a squished tube. And you want something that's going to be long enough so that when you lay on it, your whole back, including your head and your tailbone, will be supported by the blanket. So that's the first thing you're going to want to gather up. And you can even use it for a few other things that we're going to be doing throughout class. The other two items that you'll for sure want are a strap. If you don't have a strap, you can use a belt or a scarf. And a block is something that you may need, but it depends on your hips and your knees. So those are the three things you'll want to have gathered for today's class. And as always, you're responsible for your own safety. So if something is not feeling right for you, skip it or modify it. Oftentimes, if you start to push into something that feels uncomfortable, see if you could maybe continue to do whatever it is that we're doing, but just make it a softer, so a smaller range of motion, or not pushed into as deep of a stretch or a pose. If that doesn't work for you, of course, that's your instant invitation to move out of whatever it is that we're doing. All right. So we're going to be on the floor the whole time, lying down for part of it, sitting up for part of it, but that's as far as we're going to go for this whole class. So you're going to start with our blanket. So you want that kind of flattish tube, and then it's going to go lengthwise across along your spine. So you'll want to bring your hips up onto it and then lean back. Make sure your head is supported as well. Now, if you come down to this position and you find that your chin is lifted, see how my chin is a lot higher than my forehead here? So if that's the case, you're going to need a little something higher under your head to allow you to lengthen out your neck and drop your chin down. So I just rolled the end of my blanket up just a tiny bit to give myself a little extra lift. From there, you can keep your legs long if that's comfortable, and you can sort of explore what feels right for you there. You might feel more comfortable in constructive rest pose where you have bent knees, soles of the feet on the floor. If you're here, the knees can be apart, or you might like to drop them in on themselves so that they're propping each other up and you're not worrying about keeping them upright. So take your time, make sure you've got all that set up, and then you're going to bring the arms out away from you at an angle that feels the most comfortable for your shoulders with palms facing up towards the ceiling. So this is a very gentle chest opener as well as lengthening out the back of the neck. And once you've got yourself settled and comfortable, making all those adjustments that are needed, begin to notice your breath. And at first, you're just going to let it flow on its own. And just notice where you're feeling the movement of your breath in your body. Also notice, are there some spots that you might be holding or gripping or carrying some tension in? So if that's the case, we're going to take two great big sighs. On your first one, see if you can relax the low back and the belly. So you're not going to push anything down towards the floor. You're just going to soften into the low back and the belly with a sigh. And then do the same thing with your shoulders. Oftentimes, as you sigh, you'll be able to let the shoulders drop a little closer towards the floor. And once you've done that, see if you want to adjust your arms. I felt like I wanted to go a little wider with my arms after I did that. Back of the neck is nice and long. And then tuning back into your breath, start to move into a belly breath, letting your belly softly rise and fall with your breath. Breathing through the nose if you're able to. When we breathe through the nose, it helps filter the air. It also warms and moistens the air before the breath enters the lungs. And it slows the breath down a little. So we're going to work at slowing the breath down even more as we expand the breath into the rest of the torso. So as you inhale, expand in every direction, as big of a breath as you can take, but still feel fairly soft in it. And then long, easy exhales. You can choose to keep your throat open, or you might decide to bring a little narrowing in your throat for a soft ujjayi breath. Same feeling in your throat as if you were going to fog up a window with your breath, only you'll feel it on your inhale and the exhale. And if you're able to, you're still breathing through your nose. And the sound of this breath has a calming effect. Every single exhale you take, allow things to soften even more. A nice visual is to think of your body as if it were warm honey that's slowly dropping down into the floor and feeling all of those places that you are being supported from beneath. And we're going to give it just a few more breaths right here. Once you've completed this last exhale, move through one more sigh. And then let the breath flow back into whatever its natural rhythm happens to be in this moment. As you start to bring some movement into your hands and your feet, kind of move what feels comfortable there. And then we're going to uh, roll to your side just enough so that you can move your blanket off to the side. We're going to need it in a little bit, so you want to still keep it within reach and return to your back into whatever felt good, constructive rest pose or lengthened out legs. And then move through, lengthen out the back of the neck, move through another sigh, relaxing the low back, belly, and shoulders. And now allow that feeling of warm honey dropping into the floor again and feel the very small effect, the effect of that very small heart opener. Feel the support from beneath and check in with how everything is feeling today. in this moment. And hopefully at the end of this practice, if you do have any spots that are feeling tight or sore, maybe you'll have a little more ease in those areas. All right, so from there, we're going to bring the knees apart. You're still going to have your feet flat on the floor. So if you had your legs long, slide the soles of the feet to the floor. Arms are going to stay where they are. And we're going to focus on the movement of our knees, which is going to cause a little rocking in our hips. So maybe it's just easier just to rock your hips side to side. You're trying to keep your knees mostly pointing forward instead of them going side to side right there. You're going to keep them where they are, but as the hips rock side to side, you'll feel one knee move forward and then the other knee moves forward. So my knees aren't going side to side here. They're just alternating, one going more forward than the other as the hips go side to side in the small rock. Of course, you're keeping it super comfortable and maybe even slow it down. Exhale as you move into one side, inhale center, and then exhale other side. So we're just bringing in a very, very small twist in the lower body. You might feel a very slight engagement in the glute of the hip that's rocking off the floor. If you don't, that's fine too. Just noticing whatever sensations you're feeling there. Keeping it within a range that feels comfortable. All right. And then bring your hips back to stillness. Maybe move through another side. And then we're going to shift to the upper body twist and moving our shoulders some. So you're going to reach the arms up and you'll drop one shoulder down into the floor. So you're plugging the arm into that shoulder socket as you're reaching the opposite shoulder up towards the ceiling. So it comes off the floor and then switch. The shoulder comes down as the other one lifts. You're just going to alternate between those two, creating a nice little twist in the upper body. And at the same time, we're getting the shoulder blades moving a little bit here. And maybe even slow this down. Exhale as you reach up. Inhale as you drop. And then exhale, other side reaches up. So your arms aren't forcibly straight. They're just mostly straight with a slightly soft elbow. And we'll go one more. And then as you come back to center, we'll just do a few with the shoulders moving in the same direction at the same time. So the shoulders lift, and then exhale, bring them down. And then inhale, reach them up. Exhale, bring them down. And we'll take one more, reach up and bring it down. Drop the arms back down, palms facing up, checking in. We're going to move back to our hips. So we were doing a little side to side. Now we're going to do a mini cat-cow with the hips. So on the inhale, you're going to let your low back arch off the floor as you push your tailbone down, and your pubic bone moves forward and down. And then as you exhale, low back presses into the floor, and the tailbone feels like it's going to push up off the floor. But you're going to stop before you start to engage the feet and the legs. So all the action is happening in your core. The legs and the feet are going to be soft and resting on the floor. So inhale as you lift the low back, tailbone pushes down. Exhale as you push the low back down. Tiny little curling up of the tailbone. Same thing, comfortable motion here. So we're thinking of the back of the hips, which is our sacrum, to be a clock. As the tailbone pushes down, you're pushing into 6 o'clock. As the low back pushes down, you're pushing into 12 o'clock. So we're alternating between 6 o'clock and 12 o'clock. And now we're going to add on to this to go all around the clock. So start at 12 o'clock, low back's pushing down, and then you're going to go circle all around the face of your clock till you get to 6 o'clock, and then continue around to come back to 12 o'clock. So knees are going to move a little bit, continue nice and slow, but you're not going to let them go a whole lot side to side. They're going to go a little bit. And take it slow. Let's go 4 times all the way around one direction. And then once you've gone 4 times one way, switch and go 4 times the other way. And maybe close your eyes so that you're really tuning into the sensations you're feeling inside your body as you move through this circle. And then once you've gone 4 times both directions, just relax and take another sigh. From there, slide the arms up to a T position, or you can always go a little lower, a little higher. Find what feels okay for your shoulders. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, let the knees drop over to one side, head turns the other way. Inhale through the middle and exhale to the other side. So we've already done some little twists in the upper and lower body. Now, as we go into a bigger twist, you're still keeping it within your comfortable range of motion, but you might feel you're ready to take it a little bigger, a little deeper. You adjust your feet so you can walk your feet closer together or further apart to really make this twist be what it needs to be for you in this moment. And then as you go into this next twist, stop and sigh. And then moving through center on your inhale, exhale to your other side, and sigh one more time. And then come back to the middle. From there, we're going to lengthen out the legs and plant your heels on your mat so that the heels are going to stay in one spot as you loosely move the feet up and down, and the feet are going in the same direction at the same time. So it creates a pulsing movement in your body. So if you're not sure, you can look at the screen and just see what I'm doing. And this is all the movement is coming from my feet, keeping my heels planted as I move my feet, toes up and down. And as you're doing this, you're trying to relax everything you can relax except for the muscles that have to work to create this pulsing movement. And then just soften everything and sigh. Now from there, move the legs loosely in and out. So the ankles and knees will be loose and floppy as your legs move in and out. Good. And then relax your legs and sigh again. All right, from there, bring your right leg up and interlace your hands behind the back of your right thigh, and the arms are going to stay long. Your left leg can stay relaxed on the floor, or you could slide the sole of the foot back to the floor if that's more comfortable for you. And now we're just going to create a little resistance, pushing the back of your thigh into your interlaced hands, and we'll hold this here. Your shin is at about a tabletop position. It doesn't have to be exact. You're just pushing the back of the thigh strongly into your hands, just to engage a little bit here in the back of the thigh. And then leg stays where it is, but relax. So you're no longer pressing into your hands. Take a big breath in. And then as you exhale, give your knee a nice deep squeeze and move through a sigh right here. Okay, we're going to go to the other side. So bring your left knee up, interlace your hands behind your left thigh. The right foot, sole of the foot can be on the floor, or you can go long with your right leg. Same thing here, pushing the back of your left thigh into your interlaced hands, holding that steady pressure. And you want to be kind of in a 50 to 70% effort range. And then soften the leg, big inhale. And as you exhale, give your knee a nice deep hug and sigh again. All right, we're going to bring both knees up to your chest now. Hands on kneecaps. Inhale, push your knees away by lengthening out your arms. And then exhale, pull the knees in. So you're just going to alternate between those two positions. Inhale, push, and exhale, pull. So working into the hips, but you'll also notice kind of it's going into that little mini cat-cow in your hips again, like we did before we did our clock hips. Okay. Now you're going to continue with this pushing and pulling, except for you're going to push one leg as you pull the other leg and switch. So keep switching from side to side here. As you're doing this, slowly open your knees out to a wider knee position. And that'll bring in a little side to side bend in the low back. Very small, very subtle. And then slowly make your way back to legs coming together. All right, once you've got the knees back together, you're either going to rock side to side, and if you want, you can cross your ankles, or you're going to use your hands on your kneecaps or behind your thighs to guide your legs in circles going in the same direction. We're just massaging the low back, so choose which option feels the best to you. If you're chose rocking, you can move your knees further or closer to your chest to change where you're massaging. If you have crossed ankles, switch it. And if you're doing circles, go the opposite way now. All right. And then as the legs come back into the chest, you're going to have the hands open knees apart, circle them around, and bring them back together. And then go the other way. All right, the next time the legs come together, we'll stop there. You're going to keep your knees up towards your chest, but open them wider to bring the soles of the feet down together. And then slide your hands down your legs. Only reach down to a place where you can let your shoulders and neck stay relaxed and your tailbone long. And then pull your feet towards your face for a little deeper stretch if you want that. Or you could separate the feet to happy baby position. If it feels comfortable or good, you could rock. Or if it doesn't, stay in the middle and breathe. All right, if you are rocking, bring yourself back into center. Take a breath in and out. And then release. Knees back into your chest. We're going to bring the hands to the backs of your thighs. Flex your feet. Exhale, lengthen. Inhale, bend. Yeah. And you want to flex your feet pretty strongly, spreading out the toes as much as you can. Now we're going to continue with this bending and straightening. Right now, your feet should be parallel to each other. So they're both pointing in the same direction. We're just going to slightly turn the toes in and open the heels wider as you continue to bend and straighten. I'm just working into that internal and external rotation of the legs. Right now, we're internally rotating. Now, open the toes wide, heels together as you bend and straighten. So you're kind of doing like a frog position as you bend and straighten. Good. Last one. And then as you reach up this next time, we're going to point and flex the feet. And if you want, you could reach the arms up and move through your wrists, palms up, palms down. Rotate your ankles and your wrists. Go the opposite direction. And then flex your feet, spread toes out, give your hands a shake. And then make soft fists with your hands, and we're going to bicycle the arms and the legs. Reverse. All right. And then go ahead, bring your knees back into your chest. And then we're going to set the feet down on the floor. Arms come down by your sides. Turn your palms to face up, taking a little bridge. So I want us to roll up and down with this, but take it nice and slow and easy. So exhale, and on your inhale, start with your tailbone and just peel your way up into your bridge, not very high. And then exhale, release back down. And then inhale, come into that little arch again. Tailbone pushes down, low back lifts. And then exhale, push the low back down, tailbone peels up, rest of the spine lifts. And then inhale as you roll down and do that little arch. Okay, we're going to do two more. Exhale, roll up. Inhale, roll down and arch. Last time, exhale, roll up. We'll give this one a little longer. And if you want to take this deeper, you can. I'm going to invite you to keep it fairly soft. If you feel any discomfort in your knees, walk your feet forward a little bit or lower yourself down some and breathe. And then slowly on your exhale, roll yourself back down. Hips come down, take a great big sigh. And then we're going to take right ankle to your left thigh. Right foot's going to stay flexed, and the right ankle is going to stay on the thigh as we just move the right knee back and forth, and the hands guide it. So as the knee opens, you can press the thigh a little bit and then cross the knee over. So we're just working into our hip here. Good. As you open the knee out this next time, we're going to just pause, pressing into the thigh near your hip crease. Keep flexing your right foot. And then releasing that, coming into your figure four pose. So this is the spot where you might want to use your block. You could set your block underneath your left foot. You could keep the left foot down on the floor, or you could bring the left knee up. Hands can wrap around the back of the left thigh, or you could loop your strap around the back of your left thigh. And then we're going to go side to side here with your legs. As you move side to side, even if your foot's on the floor, you're going to go side to side here, noticing what you're feeling. One direction, you'll get more intensity. So as you range side to side a few times, then find that place where you'd like to stop in and breathe. It's such a good stretch to do every single day. And if you've ever been told you had sciatica or piriformis syndrome, this is a great stretch for you. And then we're going to release and go to the other side. Flex the feet and move the knee, flex the foot and move the knee back and forth here. Hands guide it, pushing the thigh open and then crossing it over. When we work at releasing hips, oftentimes the low back will feel better as well. So this can be helpful for low back issues too, this figure four position. And then press that thigh open, pause there, flexing the foot still. And then as you let go of that press, figure four on this side, right foot on the floor, up on a block, or the right knee comes up, hands or your strap goes around the thigh. And then move your legs side to side. And stop in that best place for you. Taking a few breaths in and out. Good. Releasing on that side, knees to the chest, rock side to side. We're going to do a little bit of stuff on our side. So go ahead and roll to one side. Scooch back just a little bit so I stay in the camera. And you do have your blanket and your block. So if you find that having something under your head other than your arm feels more comfortable, set it up so that you can feel really comfortable here. I'm going to use my blanket now. Okay, we're going to be focusing on this top leg. You can let your knees be bent to where it feels the most comfortable for you. And then bring your top knee up and you're going to flex the foot and just kick it out. So your hand behind the thigh acts as a little guide, kicking it forward, pushing through your heel. Good. Now we're going to kick the leg out, but line it up with your bottom thigh. So you want this bottom thigh not to be, if you had your knee straight out from your hip or straight down from your hip, you want it halfway in between. And then the thighs will match. Top thigh is going to match the bottom thigh as you lengthen the leg. And we're just going to flex the foot and do a few little lift and lowers here. Your foot is parallel to the floor. And just like when we did that bending and straightening on our backs, where we turn the toes in. So now you're going to turn the toes down, heel up. This is going to be our most challenging thing we do today, I think. And then toes up, heel down. I think I said that wrong the first time, but you saw what I was doing. Okay. And then we're going to take that leg and just do some big leg circles. You can always go into a bent knee if that's feeling better for you. And now reverse. Good. Now keep the bottom leg bent. Keep the top leg straight as you reach it down towards the foot end of your mat. And then stretch your top arm and just stretch out through your top side from the foot to the fingers. Breathe. So you're thinking of dropping that hip away from your shoulder here. And then go ahead and relax. Now drop the top arm. Let's bend both knees. Top arm is going to rest on the side of your body with the hand on the hip. And we're going to work our shoulder here. So inhale, bring your shoulder forward. And exhale, relax. Good. Inhale it forward. Exhale, release. One more time. Bring it forward. And let it go. Now we're going to go to the back. Inhale, bring the shoulder back. And release. And bring it back. Release. One more to the back. Bring it back. And release. Good. Now we're going to shrug it up. Inhale. And exhale. The release is just as important. Inhale. And release. One more time. Shrug. And release. Now we're going to bring the shoulder down towards the hip. So you're going to drop it down towards the hip and soften. And reach it down. Exhale, release. Last one, bring it down. And release. Good. From there, keep the hand on the hip as you roll the shoulder around. Let's do 4 circles one way. And then reverse 4 circles the other way. And then once you've done all of your circles, just let your arm rest on the side of your body and sigh. Beautiful. Okay, before we go to the other side, I'd like you to come onto your back again. Either legs long or feet, soles of the feet on the floor. Arms out from your sides comfortably, palms up. Take a big sigh and just feel the shoulder side that you've worked compared to the other shoulder. Okay, now we're going to go to the other side. I'm going to flip around so that I'm still facing you. And you want to make sure your neck feels comfortable, head is supported. So you're going to get that set up first. Good. And then take your top, both legs are bent. Take your top leg, hand to the back of your thigh, flex your foot, and then you're going to kick it forward. And we're working these side glute muscles. This is working our hammies, but also the side glute muscles. And we want to make sure those side glutes are working and strong to support our low back and our hip stability. Okay, now you're going to have your bottom knee not straight to the front and not straight down, halfway in between. And then the top leg is going to match it. Thighs are going to stay at the same angle as you lengthen your top leg. Foot is parallel to the floor as you lift and lower the leg. And now turn the toes down, heel up. Good. Now turn the toes up, heel down. Okay. Now we're going to take that leg and do some big leg circles. Remember, you can bend your knee if that feels more comfortable. And then go the other direction. All right. And then lengthen your top leg towards the end of your mat, top arm to the opposite end. So they're going to reach in opposite directions to stretch out through the side of the body. So the hip is moving away from the shoulder. Breathe. Good. And then go ahead and relax. Top arm, rest on the side of your body. And we're going to go through that little sequence for the shoulder. So inhale, bring your shoulder forward. Exhale, relax. Inhale it forward. And release. And one more time, bring it forward. And release. Okay, we're going to bring it back now. Bring it back. Let it go. Bring it back. Let it go. One more like that. Bring it back. And let it go. And then inhale the shoulder up into a shrug and exhale, relax it. Inhale, shrug and release. One more shrug and release. Now the shoulder's going to go down towards the hip. Reach it down and soften and bring it down and relax. One more, inhale it down. Exhale, relax it. Hand stays on the hip. 4 circles with your shoulder one direction. And then reverse 4 circles the other way. And once you've gone 4 in each direction, let the arm relax on the side of your body. Take a big sigh. Okay, we're going to come onto our back again. Roll back. Find your position, knees bent or legs long. Take a great big sigh. And notice your shoulders again. Hopefully things have evened out for you. And then bring your knees up, rock side to side, and roll to your side to come upright. All right, now that you're upright, if you do need a little elevation under your hips to feel more comfortable and to sit up taller, use your blanket. You've got it with you, and you can just slide it right underneath your hips here. So once you're there, we're going to roll shoulders. We already worked our shoulders, so hopefully this is feeling like it has some ease to it. And then move your shoulders separately, like you're doing a great big backstroke with your shoulders, and maybe move your rib cage too. That just loosens things up in your upper back. And then on the next inhale, shrug your shoulders up. And exhale, relax them down. Let's bring the arms down. Inhale, shrug. Exhale, down. One more. Inhale, shrug. And exhale, release. Drop your chin down to your chest. Move through a sigh. Slide your chin over to your collarbone on one side. Through the middle into your other one. Back down to center. Now slowly roll your head, ear to one shoulder. Forward, other shoulder. Good. And then as you bring your head to one shoulder, stop there for some small head nods. And then stop and sigh. And bring your head forward into your other shoulder, head nods. Stop and sigh. And then head forward on your chest, breathe in. On your exhale, bring your head upright. Interlace your fingers, breathe in. As you exhale, push your palms forward, round through your back. And then inhale, come up. Take a breath in, drop the shoulders down. And then bend your elbows, turn the palms down, circle overhead. And circle the other way. And then we're just going to pull side to side. Good. And then as you come back down, hands to your knees, inhale, chest forward, moving through some seated cat-cows. Exhale, round back. Inhale, forward and round back. One more of those, coming forward and rounding back. And then stacking your spine. Keep your left hand on your knee, right hand comes to the floor, just so your fingers can graze along the floor. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, come into a little twist here, and then inhale, release out of it. So we're going to flow with this. Exhale, twist. Inhale, release. And as you go into your twist, make sure you're not using your left hand to pull yourself into your twist. You want to keep that left arm just relaxed here. And then reaching, as you come back into your twist to the right, you're going to stay there. Drop your chin down to your right collarbone. And come up. Stay in the twist. Turn your head to the left side and drop the chin again. And come up, and then turn your head to look to the right again. Big inhale. And as you exhale, relax. Move through a sigh. Other side, left hand grazes the floor. Breathe in. Exhale, twist. Inhale, release. Exhale. And your right arm is just flowing, but it's not doing much work here. You might find you have one direction that's feeling a little easier today. Just honor that today if you notice, and then stay in your twist. Drop your chin down to your left collarbone. And bring your head up. Stay in the twist as you look right and drop the chin again. And then bring your head upright, look back again, big inhale. And as you exhale, come on out of it. Cross your right hand over to your left knee. Reach your left arm up and over to the right. And then as you come up, cross left hand over, right arm comes up and over. And come up. And then we're going to keep our spine nice and upright. We're just hinging from our hips. Walk your hands forward. Your hands are supporting you here. Tuck your chin slightly so your back of your neck is nice and long. If you're feeling like you want a little extra here, whatever foot is in front, walk your hands in the direction those toes are going. And that'll increase what you're feeling in the other hip. And then come back, center, and come up, and then we'll switch. So we'll have the other leg crossed in front. Same thing, hinge forward, chin tucks, back of the neck stays long. Your spine is straight instead of rounding. That's another option you can do. This is a little safer for the low back. And then if you want, take the hands over in the direction your front toes are going. And then back to center and come up. Good. From here, we're going to work our way back down to the floor. So swing the legs over. You're still going to have your blanket handy as well as your strap. So once we come down, bring your knees into your chest and rock side to side here. Okay. Now take your strap, set your left foot down on the floor, and bring your strap around the ball of your right foot and stretch your right leg up. So right now you have the choice of keeping your left leg in this bent position, or you can take your left leg long. If you lengthen the leg, make sure you flex the foot so that that leg is staying active as we do this next part. Okay, take a breath in. And as you exhale, move into where you're feeling your hamstring stretch, and then inhale, move out of it. You're just going to float in and out of, going into some intensity, but not too much, and then backing out. So we're stretching the hamstring here, we're flossing it, and that kind of helps coax it, and it also makes it so that your brain doesn't send a signal to contract because we move out of it before that can happen. Okay, now we're going to go into where it feels like the edge of your hamstring stretch and just notice how far you're able to go into that. You could make a note on the ceiling if that's helpful, if you like to do some comparison. And then we're going to back off to where you're just feeling the soft stretch, and then push your foot into your strap. And as you do this, you'll feel the back leg engage. So similar to when we were pushing the back of the thigh into our hands, now we're pushing into the strap with our foot. And now go ahead and soften, keep the leg where it is, get big inhale, and as you exhale, now you can re-stretch the leg and see if maybe you got a little further with your stretch. And then keeping a stretch in the leg, but just back it off so it's not at your very edge, it's a little softer. And take a deep breath in, let it go. Now move out of that hamstring stretch, and you're going to move quite a bit out of it so that you're not really feeling the back of the leg stretching anymore. And then flex your foot, turn the toes in, and push the edge of your foot into your strap, the outside edge of your foot. Transfer your strap into your left hand and bring your right thumb to the crease of your right hip to just anchor that hip onto the floor as you move your leg across to the left. So we're working on the outer part of the leg. You're going to feel it in your most tight spots first. So that could be anywhere from the hip down to the outer calf. Okay, and then come up. And now slide your left foot back to the floor if you went long with it. Strap goes into your right hand. And we're going to open the right leg out as you move the left knee open into a butterfly. And we'll just pause here for just a breath or two. Good. And then bring both back into center and just wave your foot side to side here. All right, we're going to do the other side. Before we do that, just give your right knee a little hug and then set the foot down. Okay, strap goes around the left foot. Lengthen the leg out. And then you have that option of keeping the right knee bent or going long and keeping the foot really active here. And then exhale, pull into that stretch. Inhale, shift away from it. You're just going to flow in and out of that more intensity and then soften out of it. Okay. Now come into where it's the edge of your stretch and just make a note of where you're able to go here if it helps to make a note on the ceiling. And then back out of it so you're just at the beginning of a soft stretch and push the foot into your strap, feeling the back of your leg engage. Now keep your leg where it is, but soften, big inhale, and as you exhale, come into your stretch, deeper stretch. See if you got a little more out of it. And then back off to where it's not so intense, and we'll just hold here for a little more. Okay, now we're gonna back way, way out so you're not stretching the back of the leg anymore. Transfer the strap into your right hand. Left thumb is gonna hook your left hip crease down so it's anchored into the floor. Turn your left toes in. Push the outside edge of the foot into the strap as you move your leg to the right. Focusing on that outer part of your left leg. So turning the toes in and pushing into the strap with the outside edge of the foot helps isolate that area a little more. All right, and then lengthen the leg back up. Slide the right foot to the floor. Strap goes into your left hand. Open the left leg. Let your right knee open out as well. And take a couple of deep breaths right here. And then come up with both legs and wave your foot side to side. As you release, give your knee a hug. Okay, we've got one last thing to do, and you might want your strap available here too. And we're going to take our blanket again. And again, we're just going to go into that kind of flat tube and bring it underneath your hips, going across the width of your hips. So it's just going to elevate your hips a tiny little bit. The strap is going to be optional, so I'm just going to have it within my reach. And then we're going to take the right knee into your chest. If you need to adjust, my blanket doesn't feel even, so I'm just going to adjust. So make sure that you've got it kind of even and it feels like it's in the right spot. You might have to shift it up or down a tiny bit. We're going to bring the right knee into the chest. And then keeping the left heel on the floor, you're going to start to lengthen out your left leg. Flex the foot. Actually, we're not going to use the strap. Just put that off to the side. And then while we're holding on to our right knee, think of doing a tiny little cat-cow with your hips again. So on your inhale, you're going to push the tailbone down. And on the exhale, you're going to push the lower back down. Inhale, tailbone. Exhale, lower back. Last time. Inhale, tailbone. Exhale, lower back. And then just relax and take a sigh. And then bring your left knee into your chest, set the right foot down, and then keep the right heel down as you go as long with your right leg as you're able to. Now you can stay right here, take a sigh, or you can take that little cat-cow. On your inhale, tailbone down. On the exhale, low back down. And we'll just alternate between those two more times. Inhale, tailbone. Exhale, low back. Last time, inhale, tailbone. Exhale, low back. And then just relax for a sigh. And then slide the right foot back to the floor and bring your right knee up. So both knees are into your chest. And do a little tiny rocking motion so you can slide your blanket a little lower down so that you feel a tiny little bit of a stretch in your low back. Your tailbone will kind of curl up now. And then you can do a little rocking. And back to center. Set the feet down. Slide your blanket out from underneath you. Knees back into your chest. Rock side to side. And then set your feet down. Back to where we started. Take a sigh. And now stretch the legs long, arms come over your head. One big full body stretch. Inhale. And then exhale, soften. And then set yourself up for our Shavasana final relaxation. You can stay here with your legs long, or you might prefer to have bent knees again. Once you're there, take a great big sigh. Let's do two more of those sighs. Big inhale. Sigh it out. And one more. Breathe in. And let it go. And just let your body relax. Let your everything grow heavy. Giving time for integration of this gentle floor yoga practice. Hopefully you're feeling more ease within your body. And you're feeling more grounded and calm. Each one of your exhales, allow your body to be warm honey, softening into whatever is supporting you. The jaw is soft, the brow, the lips, the tongue. Giving yourself over to rest, to relaxation, to calm. And while you're here, I'm going to share a quote from author and artist Morgan Harper Nichols. You are worth the quiet moment. You are worth the deeper breath. You are worth the time it takes to slow down, be still, and rest. And take a great big breath into your belly and let it go. And then breathe into the belly and the low ribs. letting it go. And breathing in belly, ribs, upper chest, your biggest breath, and let it go. And then very gradually starting to bring some movement back into the body, in whatever way feels right to you. If you're lying down, bringing yourself over to your side. And when you get there, move through another side. And then from there, with as little effort as possible, bring yourself into a seated position, taking your time, keeping the eyes closed if you're able to. Once you've come to seated, bringing the arms down by your side. Inhale, sweep arms all the way up, and then exhale, hands together to your heart. We'll close our practice with one Om. You can join me if you'd like. Exhale, inhale. Ah. As your Om fades, bow your head towards your heart center. Thank yourself for your practice today, for spending a little time maybe taking things slower. And I thank you for allowing me to share it with you. Namaste.